Hi, and welcome to our next topic. What we are going to look at is urban futures. Urban is your man, woman-made objects, your towns and your cities. Futures is how they are going to change. Now, before we look at how cities are going to change, we need to understand how they started, how they are now, and why and how they're going to change in the future. But before we start all that, we need to know some of the key words. By understanding what the key words are, it means you know what people are talking about. As you can see in this little picture, I've created a very nice little mind map, where again I've used a couple of cartoons to help me remember it. So, let's look at those key words. The very first key word is urban. Well, this is man-made, woman-made areas. Your towns, your cities. The next one is urbanisation. Urbanisation is where the towns and cities get larger. The next one we will look at migration. Well, this is going to help explain urbanisation. Migration is where people move from the rural, the countryside, to the cities. Now, they move to towns and cities for jobs, better quality of life, but migration is where they move from the rural area to a city. The next thing we're going to look at, internal growth. Well, if migration helps to urbanisation, the building up of towns and cities, well, internal growth kind of says what it is on the tin. Internal growth. In other words, more people are being born inside the city and less people are dying. Well, if more people are being born and less people are dying, naturally there are going to be more people living in a city. So that is internal growth. The next one we're going to look at is conurbation. Very long word, but conurbation, all it means is where a city gets so big it starts to grow into the surrounding suburbs, the surrounding towns and cities around it. London is a very good example. You have the City of London, but all the areas around it, Westminster, Chelsea, Kensington, Surbiton, Hampton Court, Hampton Wick, have all kind of become part of London. So everything within the M25, we kind of class as London, but there are loads of towns and cities that form part of it. So conurbation is where the city just pretty much absorbs all the towns and cities around it to form one massive city. Conurbation. The next one we're going to look at is services. Well, this is what towns and cities offers us. In other words, your transport, buses, taxis, your theatres, your shows, your cinemas, banking, financial banking, your sports venues, your Chelsea fans, your Tottenham fans. Okay, again, I'm using London as an example. Your hospitals. Those are all the services that are offered that makes us want to live in a city. The final word we're going to look at is your urban belt. No, not a belt you wear around your waist, but actually the concept kind of works. Because if you strap out the belt in a straight line, well, if you imagine that was a train line, that's pretty much what an urban belt is. In other words, if you look at the belt, you have London at one end, and where the train line goes down, and where the train stops, there are loads of little towns and cities. Well, these have got bigger and bigger, and eventually they form one long urban belt where everybody lives in the same area. Those are the 7 key words. Have a go at drawing my little mind map spider diagram that you can see right now and you saw at the start. Give it a go.